for both of them. I don't even know what to expect here, Div. I have no idea what they're going to bring on the board, but I just know it's going to be a very exciting game to claim the title as the king of this group. Now, first band to come out is going to be Thatcher. Will any of the ranged hard breach go out as the next one? I feel like that's a big test for FaZe on the attacking half. It's
going to be the Hibana. We're going to see Hibana make it on through. Nook. Okay. We've seen so many Nook bans this tournament. People just, they want to punish those lurkers, reduce the number of nades on the team. Big thing for me, G2, they're the real ones that got to prove this. I mean, FaZe, to me, are the clear favourites, even if the community vote didn't swing that way. G2, their history on Bank has not been very bright. Rogue beat them 7-1 in EUL, and Wolves beat them 7-5. That was their first two matches of EUL this stage. And, I mean, it's been a while since that. They've had a month and a half to get things working on this map, and I sure hope that they've done their homework.
Final bands to go out will be Mira and the Valkyrie. And what that does mean is that we've got some pretty key operators left in for both the attack and the defense. We can see the Izami, who's been picked up by Doki right now, has been left in. Additionally, we've got all of the ranged hard breach, all of the regular hard breach as well, and FaZe actually electing to bring 3 hard breach in their lineup in the form of Ace, Maverick, and Thermite. But G2, they're already bringing us off on a curveball kind of site. They're taking us over to Staff Room, an open area, usually considered a tertiary site, but trying to throw off FaZe.
Attackers have discovered the location.
Funnily enough, this bomb site has started to steal its way into the mainstream very, very gradually. It's still only the second most played site, with Locker CCTV globally stealing the limelight quite significantly. But it's, I mean, it's had a decent defensive win rate. It's actually globally tied with Teller's Archives and higher than CEO. So we've seen a lot of teams win clutches on this site. We've seen teams evolve their strategies on this site. We casted Soniqs just before. Remember that iconic Kansan clutch on this very bomb site?
FaZe will shape their way to take around the map. They've gone through some repicks here as well. We're not bringing across all 3 of those hard breach anymore. We've got Astro on the floors instead, looking to clear some of that utility. I guess, note those Keeper barriers can be quite pesky to clear, so sending in Rotero will do the job for you. But Virtue, he's just found the first pick contesting that parking rappel angle. That's not one that you see every day on the 1X.
No, but Virtue, he loves his reflex sight and has made good use of this 50 cal Uzi here. Astro looking to contest, though. A dangerous game to play when Bullet has already fallen.
Oh. And as you say, he takes damage from Virtue. He is relentless in this well. He does not want to give up the control. After all, it is an staff room open area hold, so they want to be gripping onto that top floor, that vertical play for as long as they possibly can.
What is this push from FaZe looking like? They've already taken one punch, losing Bullet early on, droning out Tellers now. Citizen may well be spotted. It's a bit of a push everywhere. Hang on a second. What's Soul's doing? He's got the diffuser, and he is the hard breach player, but he has managed to waltz into the bomb site. Nobody from G2 seemingly aware of his position. And now he waits patiently while the rest of his team tries to regroup. Such a dangerous game to play for FaZe right now.
Oh, he could actually go for the plant, but he's waiting for his teammates to get into a better post-plant position so they can cut off the retake. We can see Cameraman now going into bottom square. Souls, he's just stalling out this plant to go down, making sure that they're ready. And Souls, he finds one, but 2!
What a play from Souls, but it might not be enough here for the Thermite, who's kicked this game off with a bang for FaZe. He's in the site, but G2 highly aware of his position. And look at that patience. Doki holding down the site. Citizen here in Archives has made it, so it's all Souls left alone, and that's a nice spray down from Doki. G2 remain composed and take the first round.
G2, they could have given away more of their lives there, but they took their time to take those 1v1s later on to Souls and to Cyber, who were the last ones remaining. They knew that FaZe was in a bit of a tussle, they were in a bit of a tight spot, and they said, all right, let's just play passive, consolidate all our plays, and take the fights carefully. That's exactly what they did to bring themselves back in. After that attempt that FaZe made to sneak their way onto the side, I really thought that was going to work. I really felt like that was so well planned out and the solution they needed to cut down that G2 defense, but it doesn't work out for them off the back of G2's discipline.
Yeah, credit to G2. They handled that well. I mean, Souls saw an opening, but it just wasn't quite enough 2 kills is pretty significant, but you need a lot more than that. Now G2 going down to the basement. Globally, this is the most popular site over in EUL. This bomb site, funnily enough, doesn't actually have a 2 crash hot win percentage. Only 36% of defense rounds are won. Over in BR6, it's a whopping 60%. So the Latin American teams, like FaZe Clan, are very happy to go and defend this bomb site. But within G2's meta, they find it much more attacker favored.
Now G2, they've lent into a sort of soft roam, kind of anchor-centric type hold. They still have the utility they need to deny the plant leader. They still have the combination of the Goyu canisters, 2 C4s, the smoke canisters as well, but they're not giving up the rest of the map as a result. We still have Doki starting out here on the top floor, a hold inside of open area, as well as a very aggressive push at the top of blue stairs. So G2, they are invested in the late round, but not completely. They are willing to stall out FaZe.
What's going on? What was that damage onto Astro and Cyber? Was that some kind of rush attempt? Hello, look at this. You got all these players downstairs, just about in the site. Soul sends it on through. Cyber's found the opener. Astro does manage to find his own. The plant is going down. G2, what is your response? Doki above the vault hatch, keen to drop, but he may well be dropping to his death.
And a 3 versus 5 situation, FaZe are definitely favored in this post plant this time. Doki will drop the hatch, but straight into his own fire. Virtue left in a 1 versus 5 situation. Cameraman will clean that up, and wow, what an incredible round from FaZe.
Yeah, beautiful attack. Took G2 by storm, send it in, get that plant down, and then lock off the retake. Excellently played from the Brazilian former major champions. Now, FaZe are an exemplary attacking team on this map. They win 2/3 of their attacks on bank. And so managing to match pace early is so imperative.
And it felt like G2 had a very good attempt at defending that bomb site. I thought, okay, look, they're roaming in the top floor. They're trying to contest as much as possible. The one place that it did not contest the entry was lobby. And lo and behold, that's exactly where you saw 3 FaZe players go through. 2 of them obviously ended up dropping dirt to go for that pinch push onto the bomb site. But 3 dropping through Logi, knowing that there were no G2 players to contest there, is just such a genius play from them off the back of some intel, pre-placed drones. I can only imagine there must have been one in lobby, and one of them called out, hey guys, they actually didn't reinforce the lobby hatch. We should just go for it.
Yeah, good eye there from FaZe. And good chance for both of these teams to make the playoffs. As you can see, the probabilities on your screen right now. A regulation win, which is no doubt what both these teams are going to be gunning for, will be an above 90% chance of making playoffs for both of these teams. It is Soniqs and Sandbox in Group B. They're in hot water, not these two. These two are looking very, very nice. And FaZe in particular are in the hot seat to make this. They've got the full points out of their 2 games so far. G2 lost 1 point by going to overtime against Soniqs. But there's still a chance for them to top this group out.
FaZe beginning their attack onto this top floor bomb site. Seems like a castle setup is what G2 are looking for. They've locked out half of the bomb sites with these castle barricades, and instead of just playing some long lines of sight, standing head height holes for Doki with that 1.5 times to contest, but a grenade to follow through. Oh, that looked like it was going to connect, but Doki, he gets away with his life.
Doki's playing with fire here as the E1D goes down. Doki goes prone. Hits the deck. He's still eager to contest this position, but it's pretty difficult to do so. There's so many active repels from FaZe.
And his castle barricades inside of that reception area have been taken down as well. Now the one going into lounge to follow up. Flashbangs will go on full white, a grenade to follow, but it only takes him down a half health. FaZe, what are you going for? This is a bit strange.
This is a very ambitious attack from FaZe, looking to go for a full repel execute. They haven't even got a breach on the wall. They haven't really entered top square. You got 3 people, 4 people repelling on these CEO windows. The temptation for G2 to try and go for a flank from lobby and take out some of those players in the windows is immense. But literally, all 5 players from FaZe on repels right now.
And now the execute will start to follow through Astro with 2 Yin Candles, but a C4 to follow. Does it connect? It does not. But Alamau, he's on the Warden. He can see through the smoke.
Doki opens up the equation. Alamau just trying desperately to look through this smoke. He didn't have the full vision, but it didn't matter. And now FaZe Clan, the plan has faltered. It's fallen to pieces Virtue might be on the ground, but G2 are well and truly in the advantage.
Plan for FaZe has completely fallen apart here. Souls, he's able to claw one back though, making his way into lobby, but not without falling to the hands of Doki. He was just so ready for that push now on low health, trying to contest these windows, but FaZe, they're down the man advantage. G2, they aren't giving them anything more.
Astro, desperate now. Only one piece of util left. He's going to try and go for a main stairs drop. He does. Prone in the barbed wire. There's a drone just ahead of him. That's something. He's going to use his last Candela to try and flash out this position. Citizens made it a little bit easier for FaZe, taking down Doki. But at least he does even it up, redeems himself, and G2 can steal away that round.
And thank goodness for that. FaZe, they look like they had something a bit special up in their hands, but Doki, he held onto his power position for dear life for as long as he could. He made full use of those castle barricades, all the utility that was gifted to him inside of that room. He held onto the reception for as long as he could until those castle barricades were taken off. Once his one inside of lounge was also taken away, he still didn't give his life. He just found the timing on the peaks of the windows throughout C4 for pressure. It's such a precarious and difficult spot to play in, but he played it to perfection.
And shout out Alamau as well, playing the Warden in Janitor. He found a kill, but most importantly, I'm thinking about the fact this is a Brazilian playing on a European team against an iconic Brazilian roster. And what's more, Alamau on the MPX was actually running the FaZe skin. I thought that was a nice nod to his home down in Brazil. Pretty big for him to uproot his life, travel all the way to G2, but that's kind of the G2 way. Obviously, Virtue, the only Aussie playing in this tournament. There's no Australian teams, but there's Virtue, who's made his way all the way up from down under to the heights of G2 in this oh-so diverse roster. When is it that we're going to see G2 pick up an American? That's what I'm waiting for, like Grixa to go and join G2, just to, you know, continue the trend of them picking up star players, and then you'll have, you know, like the arm and legs of Exodia. You'll have one player from each region in the world on G2.
Team Worldwide is what G2 are possibly looking to do, but not for now. They are currently in this lobby with this 5, and they are looking in hot form, one round up, currently on FaZe. Now, I want to quickly touch on the way that FaZe structure their team, because something that I love about this roster is that they are so flexible. They have their hard support of Souls, they have their first entry of Bullet, but for the rest of them, free reign on any operator. Astro, the IGL, can do anything he feels like doing. Cyber as well, super flexible player, although often on those secondary entry operators, and Cameraman just seems to be all over the place doing whatever he wants to do. And I really love that approach to this team, and it's just, it allows them for such dynamic attacks, although some of them don't work, as we saw in the last one. This one could.
Once again, Candelas. This time, just a clear open area. This is just a bit of a roam for G2. That said, Doki's punished there. He was in a position to try and retreat, but his life is taken away. Citizen able to find one. Spots out the tail end of Cyber as he creeps around the corner, but he's really feeling that pressure, and Cyber gets him right on back. What good team play from FaZe.
Now the roam clear phase done for FaZe as well. They can start to work their way into the bomb site. One of the hatches has already been given open to them, but a few others. Oh, this is an interesting Aruni Gate setup. Because the Aruni Gate is on the top part of the hatch, it's preventing them from opening up the hatch and trying to deal with Prano, but it won't matter anyway. Cyber to take down Alamau. It's really starting to fall apart for G2.
At this point, Virtue's got to do something monstrous from Blue Stairs. He's in an aggressive position. Oh, no. Prano? How do you die to that? Please explain. Must have somehow detonated the Vulcan canister, I guess? Ha from Doki, and Virtue's going to try desperately to clutch this one. He's got one. Aussie, but he's going to have to find 3 more. Flashed out. The nades come through. That should close it. Apparently not, but the Vulcan canister, the flames will lock him out of the sight, and Bullet is catching his rotation. Quite a strange round there, I'm going to admit, but FaZe continuing to demonstrate just how good they are.
Well, that's the thing that I love about FaZe, right? Every single attack they do is so difficult to get a read on. Now, not all of their ideas are the most brilliant in the world. I give them that. Sometimes their ideas have us scratching our heads a little bit in the top-down view, but that one was fantastic from them. They knew that G2, they weren't roaming your top floor too hard. They just had an open area hold. So Cyber goes, okay, I'll pick the buck. I'll make some entry holes that go in to try and slither their way into that G2 roam. Same thing with the combination of the Ying with Astro to take away the attention. They were able to get the 2 versus 1 on these roamers work out for them, and eventually in the man advantage to close out the round. It just feels like it's so hard for G2 to have a formula that works every single time against these FaZe attacks.
And that's why these teams are so good. It's why FaZe has won a major 9 months ago. It's why they haven't made very many roster changes at all, really, since FaZe went through their huge revamp. It's been... It was actually quite a funny story, you know, with the whole MIBR FaZe situation. Cameraman having a stint not on this team, and then Astro being the only member of FaZe that stayed on when they picked up the other 4 members of MIBR. This roster has now been the same for a year and a half. And Astro, the captain, and if I'm not wrong, is he IGLing these days as well?
Astro is the IGL.
Yeah, and this guy, he's been on the team for 4.5 years. 4.5 years. I'd hedge a bet that most of the people watching the stream right now haven't been playing Siege for 4.5 years.
And I really like the way that this team has formed around the leadership of Astro as well. Even though the roster has changed, because he's been here for so long and is on that flex role, he's created such an identity for this team. And I just love it. This is why FaZe is one of my favorite teams, because they always bring something brand new and exciting to the server. Now G2, they will be holding on to this top floor with quite an extended hold at the moment. A combination of loads of mute jammers, reinforcements even committed, Doki playing these very odd Kiva berries inside of stock. Ooh, that was a bit tight, but the grenade does connect from Bullet, and that takes down Doki.
Quite a strange setup, but Bullet doubles down. And G2 punished a little bit for that extended position of Doki. Alamal, the nasty little player inside of Janna that can take down one. But Virtue's been taken very low. In the meanwhile, FaZe, though, they don't let him get away with it. And they once again storm through G2. It's all on Prano, and he is not going to get away sneaky beaky like up the stairs. FaZe Clan, yet another dominating round.
And once again, such a strange attack coming out from FaZe as well. You had some players coming through top square. You had Bullet that made such a successful entry off the back of the grenade onto your bottom square play. It felt like the G2 defense that they ran into the FaZe attack was just in the wrong direction. It was facing the wrong way, and it wasn't dealing with them with the right crossfires. Each time that FaZe have been able to pick off G2, it's because they walked in at a point that G2 are not turned their gun to, that they're not training their eyes to. And because they can slot their way in between the roam of G2 each time, it's really rattled the defense and cut off some of those crossfires that they're trying to hold on to.
It feels like the rounds that FaZe have won have been so dominant. The rounds G2 have won have been based on some really early, just aggressive picks that then FaZe haven't been able to execute their plan. Is that the key strength to G2? The fact that they can play that disruptive game? Because it feels like if they fail at that first phase of the round where they're trying to throw a thorn in FaZe's side, then FaZe just roll over them.
Well, the thing is, you can't throw a thorn in FaZe's side. That's not the way that they play the game. FaZe are the ones that throw the thorn in your side. G2, they need to take some time to figure out how to get the read on what FaZe are going to do and consolidate their plays to dealing with it. Now, that's something that has worked twice for them because the FaZe plan has been a bit of a head-scratcher. But I think for G2 to consistently win these defenses, they had to figure out the formula a little bit quicker.
Oh, an attempt to try and even the half now for G2. As FaZe's final attack goes through, and it's once again to this top floor. G2 won this previously. FaZe's all-repel attack just wasn't quite it, but I assume, based on the fact that we've got this Montagne, it's going to be something a little bit different.
Of course it is. It is this Latin American team where they always bring us something new, and it seems like a lobby take is going to be the way. Astro now pushing his way in with the Montagne, just like you said, will start to work his way up these spiral stairs, but G2, they seem to have a slightly better read on it. There is a player inside of Elevator playing a crossfire.
He's on his cameras.
Angles. Oh, hang on a second. What's going on here? Astro all the way in the top of Banana. This is a bit awkward.
Yeah, this is very awkward, and Doki loses his feet. Prano's trying to concuss that Monty with the Sonic Burst of the Yokai drones, but it's not enough as the Monty is able to finish off that pick. And FaZe really throwing something back at G2, who are seemingly shut out once again. Virtue, some heroics might save the round, but he's going to have to do a whole lot more than that. Citizen now in lobby, trying to contest these repels. Can't quite land the shot that he needs to. And that diffuser's going down. Virtue can take down Bullet, but the Monty is up and that diffuser is down.
Oh, and the Monty right in the corner of the room as well. Astro has just gone on an excursion through the bank.
You want to talk about excursion? Look at Citizen. What's he doing?
What is going on? They have to contest these repels. He thought he could go for a run-up, but the post plan is just so good for FaZe. Citizen taken down so low. The ever-presence of the Monty in the site. Virtue, you can see him trying to get these picks onto the repels as well, but it's just impossible. He gets taken down. FaZe, they can clean up yet another round.
It's a done deal for FaZe here. A 4-2 split on their bank. There's nothing that Citizen can do. Even if he finds a pick or two. That was a gnarly shot, but it doesn't mean anything when there's no time to hit the defuse. What a round from FaZe, adapting to perfection.
That was such a strange round, Dev. I was about to sing the praises of G2. I thought, oh, FaZe, they're doing a lobby take, but G2, I've seen their setup. They had a play inside of Elevator. They had the holes to crossfire with the Elevator player from meeting. They had Doki in his power spot, and I thought, there are 3 players contesting this lobby push. There's no way that FaZe are going to be able to get through it, but apparently, one Monty and one player on cams is all that it takes for Astro to make his way all the way from ATMs into the corner of the site and to plant the bomb down. That is insane. That is crazy work from FaZe.
G2 now, they need to deliver on their attack. They have to. FaZe has already set the pace and been impressing to a significant extent. Like, this is the FaZe that we were hoping that would show up this major. This is the FaZe that was sadly not very present in stage 1. Now that FaZe has come back and they got over the little rough spot that they found themselves in, this is looking like a potential major championship team. Am I getting a bit ahead of myself if I say that?
I would agree with you on that. I can't say that the FaZe formula is very consistent every time because it's so dynamic and changes often depending on the team that they're playing against, but it's also what makes them so dangerous as well. And if teams don't figure out how to deal with this dynamic quickly enough, then they can really run away with games, and that's what we're seeing currently in this matchup. Now, Doki is starting to make his way through the garage. They know that this is a basement defense, but it doesn't seem like G2 are committing too hard to the roam clear.
Well, they're going to have to do something to try and get this back into their side, back into their favor. It doesn't look like FaZe is roaming too much. That doesn't mean there can't be a threat on this side. Look at this from G2. 3 players tempting the idea of garage. Virtue for a bit of lines of sight into the E1 hallway. Try and cut off rotations. Prano, the first one in on the forefront with the Ossa, going in through garage. Drone ahead, they got some info. Now he tries to solidify a strong position, but Astro says, hey, we've got positions of our own.
Astro trying to make some architecture of this garage position, but Bullet is actually taken very low in this engagement. Prano will take him down, but not being downed by Astro. It just seems like there's such a back and forth push. This is a war zone going through the garage currently. Shields, keeper barriers, everything is going up in the trenches.
And there's a chance, there you go, Virtue's been revived now thanks to the Finker's boost. FaZe Clan had to forfeit that control, and now G2 have taken full advantage, advancing their positions. Doki to play behind this Ossa shield. Alamad a backstab from server as well, so there's a lot going for this G2 attack.
And it's forced all of the FaZe players to come back and recall into the site now that they know that G2 are no longer doing the roam clear. What that does mean, though, is that G2 can start to make their way through that ground floor if they need it. I just saw Virtue pull out his X-Kairos once more while Doki holds on. There we go. Virtue starting to make his way in the ground floor, can open the hatches while Doki is holding onto that garage control that they've currently got off the back of the Osa shield. And it's making FaZe, it's starting to look a lot more claustrophobic on the site as a result.
It's going to get more difficult now that Alamal's pressuring Blue as well. He's got a smoke to clear the Saruni gate. He wants to swing it straight away. Baits out with some shots. The gas and the spray from Souls is enough to take down his Brazilian brethren. And now, with time ticking away, Virtue has no choice but to cover and try and drop this hatch. Prano's got the diffuser, but he was playing in Garage before. What is this play here from G2? It's going to have to be a hatch drop. Virtue to go down first. He finds his pick, but Prano goes down. And it's just the Aussie left. He's down and out. FaZe on for the flank, and they are running away, forcing the G2 tactical timeout.
I really didn't mind that attack from G2. I thought that was very well planned out from their part. They put some perceived pressure onto the site by claiming some ground. It forced FaZe to come back. Virtue even made a cutoff angle for those FaZe players that were going to come back. Then after that, they could use that ground floor space, but by then, it was just too late. They didn't have enough time to get intel into the site and actually plan out the final step, the execute. They spent so much of that investment, that utility into the mid-round that it all fell apart, and FaZe didn't give them any more after that.
And FaZe, during their tactical timeout, I mean, well, it's G2's called it, but they, of course, have the chance to chat with the coach. Look at them. They look very chill. G2, what's the look on their faces? That's my question. G2 have had a lot of pressure throughout stage 2. Didn't even look like it was possible for them to make it to this event. Now they defied the odds there. They've got a bit of work to do to get back in this game. Trailing 3 rounds behind, and a single round loss here means that FaZe at least guarantee overtime. G2 leaking points left, right, and center.
And now FaZe will take us down to the staff room and open area bomb site. Tertiary site, of course, for FaZe. And it seems quite anchor-centric as well so far. They're combining the Maestro as well as the Kaid to keep some hatches and walls closed. Meanwhile, Astro, wow, Astro is the perfect player for Azami. Don't you think so? It almost feels like this operator was made from the creativity that this team can bring, not just from Astro, but from literally everyone else in the team. It's just perfect. The way that they've architected each site and holding those keeper barriers in his hand until he needs it.
And with FaZe, we haven't seen them play this bomb site as of yet. G2 hasn't seen them play this bomb site during the major yet. Bank is a first for both of these teams at the major. FaZe do have some history on it in stage 2. G2 have some history way back at the start of stage 2. And it doesn't look like, unfortunately, they've done much. Wow! Look at these through-the-floor Electroclaws from Bullet. Down in server, defending above. Let's have a look.
Oh.
3 out of the 4 walls. All 4? I can't tell if they're all done, but never mind. There's some action going down. G2, it's Citizen on the forefront. Trying to take Garage. So many bullets. A near miss of his head. I think that's Cameraman on the other side. Spraying on through. G2 get Citizen on their side. Do win that opening engagement.
FaZe, though, they've gone for a total lockout type of defense. They've not only reinforced the quad wall, but they've reinforced all of the tellers and archives wall as well. So not playing a horizontal extension whatsoever. What that does mean is G2 need to get in and they need to start working this wall quickly if they want to sneak their way into the bomb site. Now we can still see FaZe roaming down below. They're afraid of that pressure that Citizen have given them. But G2, now they have so much space. What can they do with it?
I mean, you expect Virtue to go upstairs, right? He's got the buck. He can get this vertical game going. He's got some hard breach. Oh, the admin hatch doesn't even reinforce. I guess that's the cost of trying to reinforce all of the walls between admin and archives. You just don't have enough reinforcements left to do everything you'd want to. G2 are looking very well poised here. They're looking so comfy. If they can lock out these FaZe roamers, it should be a pretty straightforward execute onto the side.
I think right now it depends on whether G2 know where these FaZe roamers are. If they know that everybody's in the basement, they go, okay, we just need to cut off 2 bits of stairwell and that's it. We can hit the site. But if they don't know that, they could be really stalled out for time here, and this lockout strategy that FaZe have got might work out for them if they're not ready.
Well, the danger here is that G2 are going to need to use that hard breach. I mean, they have a lot of hard breach for hatches. Virtue and Doki both have the secondary hard breach. But Prano's Thermite, that's the real question. If he's able to get a nice large breach on that staff room wall, it could be huge. Alamar's going to try looking for these Electroclaws, but he doesn't realize they're down below. Completely caught off guard, and now FaZe might be able to swing this in their favor.
That being said, there is one single wall that is not electrified. The furthest right wall is left open for G2 Soprano. He can take out his exothermic charge. Oh, he's actually wanting to go for another wall instead, though. Oh, this could be really bad for FaZe if they don't realize that they're vulnerable.
I think the detonation has now gone off. Prano managed to breach the left side of the wall. Bullet. Oh, he wins the fight on Alamau. And now flanking up the blue stairs. This puts G2 between a rock and a hard place. Desperately spraying on down. It's all on Citizen. He opened it, but he can't close it. And FaZe find themselves on match point.
G2 just once again taking way too much time through that mid-round. They had been given so much of that top floor away, but FaZe, they knew that the mission critical part of that defense was keeping their walls closed for as long as possible and allowing Astro and Cameraman on the site to set up the anchor, the fortress, with the Azami. They said, okay, those guys need the time and space to do that. We need to keep this wall closed. And what that means is protecting the electricals down below, making sure that Citizen can't come in up the main stairs and try and flank their backs while they're doing that. And that's exactly what FaZe were able to do. G2, they couldn't identify fast enough that actually they'd been given so much space. Yeah. And in the end, 15 seconds is not enough time for a side execute like that.
It felt like G2 just played that attack like you would play a normal attack onto a normal setup. And FaZe didn't have a normal setup, so G2 didn't take advantage of any potential weaknesses that might have been perceived in FaZe's plan. Mind the Freudian slip there. But where this leaves us right now, FaZe match point poised for the most dominant game that they have had so far. Now, even taking down Soniqs, it was only a 7-4. Taking down Sandbox, it was a 7-5. And this could very well be a 7-2 over G2, who, while they have won both of their games so far, they don't have quite as many points as FaZe. And dropping a game here gives an opportunity to a team like Sandbox to maybe get themselves in. What is that run out from Cyber? And that's a hell of a long jog.
That is some confidence coming out from Cyber. He knew that, oh no, a C4 to follow as well. These guys are oozing confidence right now. They know that they are 4 rounds up onto G2. And Cyber's like, you know what, guys, give me the pass. I got things. I got places to be. I got things to do. And FaZe is like, fair enough. He gets this first pick. Now G2 left in shambles. The mental must be so tough for them right now. But actually, maybe it's not. Citizen, he looks very confident on this entry.
I'll tell you what's happened here. G2 are like, all right, you know, we've kicked the bucket, time to get in there. The Citizen says, it's my job to stand up for my team, and he is looking for something. This is a top floor bomb site, and he's already in the top floor hallway. Just around the corner from several players. Virtue could also meet him halfway up on the stairs. Doki finds a pick. Suddenly an opening for G2.
It seems like this Citizen entry has gone very undetected as well. He's only just shot 1 bullet, but it doesn't feel like anyone is trained on his line of sight. The Gon6 to clear the Syria gate, but Doki just around the corner. Ooh. Can they play the refrags onto this janitor position? Astro, he just slips away, getting wallbang taken down to a slither of HP. FaZe, they're starting to fall apart on this defense.
Virtue got the dagger in hand and can't land the shot. They haven't been able to spray him down. Astro, how has he survived? So low on HP, but what a shot from Bullet. Straight between Doki's eyes. He admits himself it was a fairly nice shot there. And it looks like G2's shot in this match may be coming to a close. It's up to G2's 2-star players, Alamau and Citizen, to stand up. But it's not going to be easy, even for the Brit himself, who has been so phenomenal on this Finker. Citizen, to round this corner, he needs to win this fight. He lands the headshot that he needed.
Now the 2-on-2 situation as well. This is winnable for G2.
Oh
such
my
HP,
God!
And Citizen to take out the final kill of this round. G2, they are still in this match.
Kept alive in the 2v3 by the wonder child Citizen and his Brazilian friend Alamau. Fist bumps in the G2 camp after that one. Look at Doki.
Yeah.
He's wondering what happened in that round and thanking his lucky stars that his teammates managed to clutch it. Still a shot for G2.
The LMGs, they combine forces Super Saiyan style to finally take out the round win for G2. That is
LMG diff.
LMG diff, apparently. It left FaZe in just They were in such a strange position once that sneaky entry had come through from Citizen. All of the G2 players went, all right, let's just try our own thing, see what we can find. And ended up working out. FaZe, they weren't really in a position where they could deal with that entry all that well. I think they were, I don't know what they were doing. They were running around the map, doing some fun stuff. We saw Cyber having a good go at it. But in the end, G2, they punished the overconfidence.
Yeah, and I really respect that from G2. We were talking about mental game, right?
Yeah.
FaZe, they win. They get onto match point against G2 in a round where G2 were just way too slow. They didn't read into the strat. This was the open area attack. And then right on the back of that, Cyber's running out, going for a massive jog on the Mozzie and finding a pick onto a repelling player. That is some outrageous confidence from FaZe. What did G2 do in reply? They say, look, we can play that game too. And we've got Citizen aggressively in the building early. We've got a clutch. That is the kind of thing that brings the mental back for G2.
And Citizen is just such a superstar on this team, don't you think? So not only he's on the entry, he's also the primary IGL of this team now. I know that G2 are going through quite a big leadership change at the moment, but the person who makes the majority of this calls, if I understand it, is Citizen. And to be on that entry fracking role, but be able to think for your team like that, just requires so much brain power. It's just, I could really give props to him. That's an incredible role to be on.
And it's so hard to do the shot calling and the in-game leadership while also fragging out, while also getting yourselves into those positions to try and make plays and leverage the round to your advantage and look like the star player. So you got to respect the GOATs. Citizen has certainly earned his stripes as one of them.
G2, they've got quite a lot of map control now. FaZe, they didn't go for the extended roam, nothing too aggressive that we saw from them. They've essentially given up total map control to G2, goodness, bar the ground.
Wow, look at this play.
Side. But yeah, this is a little interesting. They've decided to barricade up with the keeper barriers, a tiny slit in the top of that dirt tunnel hole. Oh, this feels like such a defender-sided hole, but it's all going to get taken down with just 1-6.
Yeah, it does force Cameraman to fall off the position where he was trying to protect that Syria gate. The exothermic will now open up that server hatch. Cameraman in a bit of a pickle now, hiding behind the server. He has a magnet to try and protect him from any flashes or grenades, but it's not going to protect him from that one. Fortunately, he survives. Goes for a spray, but the final nade will take him down. That's a good one from Virtue on the top of server. And FaZe Clan feeling a bit extra pressure now.
Cameraman just really overstaying his welcome inside of server. Once that hatchet got open, he had to get outie there, but he did not, and now it's leaving FaZe with just in the man disadvantage. But for G2, they still have 45 seconds left. That's some time to bait out this utility of Souls, plan out the execute they want to go for. It's just,
look at that!
Hang on a second though. Citizen, he's able to claw it back though, and now G2, they look like they're in pole position to take the round.
Cyber's gone for a flank. He finds a double! Cyber! He doesn't keep on running. He goes straight back to side, but G2 have sent it through. That diffuser is cold on the ground, but it's a 2v1. Cyber! An ace to close the game. And the double spray down brings FaZe through. What a phenomenal showing. You just don't see that.
That is incredible. That came out of nowhere for Cyber. I thought G2, they had the hold of that round. That was so explosive, but you can never count out these FaZe plays. You can never count out Cyber, the superstar of this team in this matchup. What an incredible clutch from him.
I still can't believe it.
Neither can I.
1 HP. He'd already found 3 kills in the round, 2 of them on that flank, and then he sprays down the last 2 players. I feel like FaZe are as surprised as we are after that. I honestly could not believe it. What a game from FaZe, and what a way to close it. They have asserted themselves as the undisputed kings of Group B.
And in such a dominant fashion as well. That wasn't some tight game where we were seeing this back and forth. That was FaZe all in, all up, every single step of the way on the attack, but also on the defense. Just so dominant from them.
Still come to terms with that one. We're going to need a minute, but we'll break it all down just after this.